create a new file. In this new file, I'm only going to work on one side of the board. The width of that board is 12 inches. The height of the board is 4 inches. And then the thickness of the board is 3/4. And I'm in inches. I'm going to zero my bit out on the top of stock right here. So I'm going to be working down into negative space. And then I'm also going to call the center of stock my datum point in the center. I could set it in the lower left corner, which is common in machining metal, but usually in wood, we're going to set it in the center. Then I'm going to go to OK. And then I'm going to create text. So here's my text. I'm just going to type in my name. That actually looks like a pretty good fit. So I want it centered on my board. And that all looks pretty good. So that's my geometry portion. I'm all done with my geometry. And then I'm going to go up here to my toolpath now. And then in this toolpath, I'm going to do a profile toolpath. To hold my toolpath manager, I'm going to hit that little pin, and that's going to lock it up there. So I'm going to go profile. How my cutting start depth is 0, and then the total depth, I'm going to go to 0.2 or 0.25. I'm going to use a V cutter 60-degree half-inch bit, so that's a good bit. I could also go over here and select other bits. And then in this bit selection, it's like a tool library where you set the inches, the diameter, the angle of that V cutter. You also set your feed rates and plunge rates right here as well. If you have a tool changer, you would set your tool number according to the tool changer, but we don't have that. And then here's the RPM of the actual spindle. So that all looks good. We go down to the end of this. And it's already selected in pink. So it's going to calculate my overall tool pass. If I want to watch it, I could hit play. And that's what it's going to look like. And I could hold down the button on the mouse to get a depth look on it. That's how easy it is. Let me close this. And then right here is the post button. So I'm going to save this tool path. And I need to save it on a flash drive. And then once I save it on the flash drive, right now I'll just put it on the desktop. And then the way I name these is my naming convention is X by Y to double check my stock. So I call it 12X4 John Sign or something like that. And then I'm going to save it. It's an NCC numeric code file. And I hit save. I could save it on my desktop, copy it to a flash drive, or I could just save it to the flash drive. All right, let's go out in the shop and go ahead and run this. Okay, that NC file or .ncc was saved onto your flash drive. Flash drive's put on the laptop. And then this is an actual Forest Scientific driver software. So this comes with your CNC router. I can see my file there. There's all my code down in the lower corner. I do know my stock's 12 by 12 by 1, so I have to prepare that. And then I set my datum or my start point at 0, 0, 0 in the center of the board. So I'm going to do that next. So here's my board. I screwed it down. It's a good way to fixture it. I use 1 1/4 inch screws because my board is 3/4 thick and my sacrificial board is 3/4. I put the board down on the tabletop using a square to square it to the table. Pilot holes in the corners. Again, those screws are just barely into the sacrificial MDF, not the bottom board. I drew cross lines from corner to corner and corner to corner to find my center. That's my datum point that I decided to use back when I started programming in Carve. Now I need to take that bit. There's my 1/2 inch shaft V cutter. That's a 60-degree V cutter. I need to place that on here. I use the jog feature. So under jog right here, I want to travel fast until I get close. And then when I get close, I'm going to travel slow. First, I'm going to set my X's and Y's, and I could use the keypad here to do that as well. I have that cutter directly above the crosshairs. So I 0X, 0Y on the laptop. And then I'm going to use the touch off plate for Z. With that thing over an inch above my board, I put my touch off plate in there. I come over to the laptop. Then on the laptop here, in the upper right hand corner is set. I'm going to go set, sense Z0. Are you sure you want to do that? Yes. And then you'll see it come down and touch off of that plate right there. So there it is, X0, Y0, and you can see how high it is above the board. That's about 0.6 inches. I go over here and I can see my coordinates are 0, 0, and 0.6 and Y. There's my artwork right there. Everything looks good. I'm ready to go ahead and run. One thing that you have to remember is that spindle RPM always defaults to 0, so you got to manually turn this up to 12,000. So I'm at 12,000 right there. So I set that. I go back to G code after I've jogged it, make sure everything's clear, turn the vac on, and I'm going to hit start. And you can see it's starting to run the first line of code. And then here it is, plunging in and cutting. That's the inside of the O. There it is.